took me 2 days. And after that I made a report, and in the report there was a whole list of recommendations and things, easy things to do. We call it easy winners. My first visit to the country was in '92, member of the team, of the Ahold team that established here the Manna supermarkets, what is now called Albert. And I used to work for other companies here as well. To give you an example, I worked for Macro from the very start of Macro here. I was helping them to build the logistic network. I used to work for a big transport company, Hoppy. And recently, since last year, I have worked for Tesco, but I did also a lot of other jobs, especially in logistic area, distribution area, but also production logistics. Before I joined Tesco in 2006, I was working 11 years all over Europe. And when I say all over Europe, I really mean all over Europe. Before I went to these business activities, I have a record of 18 years in education. I was rector of a gymnasium in Amsterdam, one of the biggest ones. We had at the maximum 1,200 students. So it's quite a big step from education to business. It's a different world, but I must say I like both. Yeah, the first contact with Nobilis was in 2009. I was working in Tesco in those days, and a colleague of mine or a friend of mine was actually working in Nobilis as a commercial manager, and she asked me if I could help them because there were a couple of operational problems. They noticed it, but they didn't know exactly how to solve it. So I suggested to do an audit to make visible what's going on, what's happening. And so I took some days off. I went to Krasna Lipa in the north, and I did there an audit. It took me 2 days. And after that I made a report, and in the report there was a whole list of recommendations and things, easy things to do. We call it easy winners. Quick things you can do for immediate improvement. I had interviews with almost everybody, asking people how they are working, how things are organized, made flows visible. And for example, ready products were stored everywhere in the building. And then you can either not keep a good track on the flow, or products can be borrowed or taken and you have no control actually. So that was one of the things. Another thing was that one of the conclusions was that I recommended them to find a general manager, because they are very much focused on just production, but a company has to look also to have excellent products and to have perfect production and wonderful ingredients. If you don't sell it in the end, it's for nothing. So there are the links we were looking at. And yeah, very much operational things. To keep stocks, to keep lists of contacts. What you do in all businesses, in fact. Because when you start as a small company, and that's how all companies start actually, they start as a small company, it's some kind of family. They are sitting together, they work together. You can do it from the garage in the beginning even, then you need a little bit bigger organization, you need more people. But at a certain moment, you have to make your company, when you're really growing, you have to make your company more formal. And the founders of a company very often don't have that feeling. They don't want to be formal because it's nice, it's pleasant. And when you become more formal, you will lose a little bit of that friendly atmosphere maybe. But if the company is growing, it's a necessary step. And especially when the company is growing fast, and they made some years quite big growth. When a company is growing faster, then you have to look at this, otherwise companies can even grow themselves into bankruptcy. If you trust yourself and you trust your fellow or your co-workers and your colleagues, you also trust your suppliers in everything. But again, business is showing that you have, especially in this case, be more formal. They got delivered from suppliers without even a contract. And then it goes well as long as everything goes smoothly. But as soon as there is a problem, then but we don't have a contract. Contract with people, contract with employees, contracts with suppliers. Those are the formal steps we are either starting or improving. I cannot say there is nothing, that's of course not true. But in many cases we have to make the more formal step. We were very much focused on production in the company. Very good products, very high quality products. But a company needs more than just producing, as I said already. So to find a general manager, that's what they did, and they found a friend. And then after 4 or 5 months they discovered that the friend was a good friend, but not such a good manager. And then you have a problem, because how to tell it my friend that he is not functioning? They had the trouble with that, and then I think somebody remembered there was Pieter Vos once in the company, and let's ask him for doing a second audit, and maybe he will discover that the manager is not functioning. So that's actually what happened. I also took the hot potato from the plate for them, and I also interviewed the existing general manager, and I could explain to him that he would never become happy in this company because he didn't have the real luggage for doing this job. He didn't have the experience, and also the company was not becoming very happy with him, and even the customers were starting questions, who is this? So I passed him the bad message, and I did it in a way that it could help him as well. And then a few weeks later, Nobilis called me and he said, "Pieter, we don't have a general manager now, but what about you?" And then I said, yes. And why I said yes? I like the team, I like the products, I like the very high quality. And it was for me a real pity that a company with such excellent starting points could not grow further, could not move on in a better way, in a more stable way. And it was something what I didn't do before. So I could say it was some kind of love in the first view.